All right, Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech, the other Tuesday night game. We've got Louisiana Tech 3.5-point home favorites, 50 the total here in this Conference USA matchup. And for Western Kentucky, it's bounce back time, hopefully, for Maverick McIver, because you may not see him play worse than he did last week, as we talked about against Florida International. He was an interception machine, looked like a deer in the headlights, really, against that defense last week. Just turnovers galore. This was an offense that, beat Delaware, beat Missouri State. But going back to the very first game of the season they played, against Sam Houston. Sam Houston State was a pretty good offensive showing, but there's been games where they haven't been rolling on all cylinders, this team, on the offensive side of the football. Louisiana Tech's coming off a blowout loss to Kennesaw State, so you should get focus here from the Bulldogs in this game. They've been going back and forth with their quarterbacks, too. They started early in the year with Evan Bullock, but they've been using Blake Baker, quite a bit lately as well, and kind of been going back and forth. And, last week was one of those games where, and even Trey Kukuk has been getting an opportunity as well. So, but the defense, well, until last week had been playing well, and then Kennesaw just ends up really going up and down the field against them. It was very impressive. The key handicap, as it always is with Western Kentucky, can you defend the pass? Because they throw the ball, 90% of the time in this air raid attack with David Bowie, or Bowie, the coordinator here. Rick Bowie, I should say, not David. Rick Bowie, the coordinator here for offensive coordinator.
David Bowie.
Yeah, I was going to say, David Bowie's not back from the grave, and he didn't turn into it from a great all-time great musician to a college football coach. So, Rick Bowie.
That'd be crazy if he did.
Yeah, Rick Bowie. I mean, Louisiana Tech secondary has been gashed, okay? Their pass defense numbers are not very good, okay? They've given up 249 through the air with their pass defense. That's not what you want to see. They're giving up big yardage as far as throwing the football. They've been very good against the run, but again, Western Kentucky doesn't run the football a whole lot. So from a matchup standpoint here, I think it could work here for Western Kentucky. And I know I ripped on this team last week. And look, I took advantage taking FIU, but I ripped on Western a bit, saying they're a bit, not fraudulent, but they had gotten a little fortuitous. Like the Delaware game, they could have lost, if not for all the turnovers Delaware had in that game. So it's actually kind of fitting, what goes around comes around. They had benefited from opponents' turnovers, CMAC, and then they finally commit a bunch of turnovers last week against Florida International, and it cost them. So if they clean up the mistakes and the turnovers, they can probably throw the football with success, because the clear weakness of the Bulldogs' defense is the secondary. I think I lean to taking the points in this bounce-back type of situation here with Western Kentucky. And now that Louisiana Tech finally lost and finally failed to cover for the first time this year, maybe now the pendulum swings the other way, and we start to see them maybe not be able to cash tickets for their backers after that strong start ATS to their season. What do you think here, CMAC, Western Kentucky, La Tech?
Yeah, and of course, we have different guys here, like always, but this is last year. I remember this game 12-7. Western Kentucky was at home. La Tech won 12-7. Just a snooze fest. So maybe a little bit of revenge here for Western Kentucky off the bad game. Both these teams, just throw it out there, have been great ATS. They finally,
Kentucky,
that's why people
down the stretch last year too. I remember.
Yes, they were. Oh yeah,
stretch. Yeah,
down at the end for sure. And they were 5-1 ATS, and that's why people last week, I'm sure, even like them again. But yeah, turnovers finally get them. So, and La Tech though is off the bye, so I think there's a little bit of advantage to them here. But I don't know about at 3. I think this is a great spot for them to win it, and I think Western plays better. I could talk about. So this one's pretty tough. We hit the numbers here. One thing, La Tech, the problem is the passing. So that could be a success, because where they've been their best is against the run. If you want to talk about this defense against these bad teams, of course, that they play, Southern Miss, whoever's on their schedule here. So they should have success here, Western Kentucky. I kind of lean their way in what could be a tight game. This is kind of one that's difficult. Bounce back for both teams. That you think La Tech after a bye will play better, but I don't know if I want to lay 3 with them. I kind of agree. If you get more than a field goal, I think Western Kentucky, as long as they take care of the ball like they have earlier, they could be live here.
I don't have a strong opinion on the total in the previous game we talked about. This one, I think I might get there with the over. And here's
and Western Kentucky 2 road wins.
Yeah.
I mean, before that, Delaware, Missouri State. Yeah.
Louisiana Tech is going to look to bounce back on offense here because they played a lousy offensive game against Tennessee.
Yeah.
I don't think the quarterback play for La Tech is great. They don't do anything great on offense, but they can run it a little bit. And Western Kentucky has been pretty weak against the run defensively. So the way I see it, I think Louisiana Tech can run on Western, and Western can throw on Louisiana Tech. So I think there's pathways to both teams having their preferred method.
You might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right. Western Kentucky giving over just over 200 yards a game, their defense. Yeah.
And you got to believe that's the focus for both of these head coaches coming off the line. And no weather issues. It's going to be a great night in Ruston, Louisiana here.
Yeah.
No wind, no rain. Yeah, no wind, no rain here in Ruston, Louisiana. That's Ain't No Mountain High Enough, by the way, that lyric comes from, in case anyone's wondering.